Thank you, Randy. That was great. I love that song. And I promised Ashley that you'd write one about Ahsoka. You may have more problems with the rhyme, but I don't know. From the start, celebrations have been created by fans for fellow fans. What makes Star Wars very special is how George Lucas has let us all play in his giant sandbox. Making fan movies, creating new stories, art, going around in costumes of some of his iconic characters. Lucasfilm has been capturing what makes fans tick through the Star Wars Stories Project. And our crews are here at Celebration to get more of your stories. We have one room that's devoted to people who signed up in advance, and that's been filled. We have another room that's just sort of walk-in. I encourage you, if you have some fan story to tell, how Star Wars affected your life, how you met your loved one, whatever, stop in and become part of this. Every story is different, but the Force really does bind us together.
When you go see a movie with a kid with a stick made of light who's got to go save the princess from a real bad guy dressed in black, and there's a wizard that also helps him with a lot of spaceships. Yeah, okay, sure.
My dad took me to see Star Wars in San Francisco. It was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen, so much so that I forced him to come back 45 more times to see that movie in the theater.
I was walking down the street and all of a sudden I heard this horrible tire screeching and this crunching sound, and apparently I caused a car accident.
I don't ever really remember seeing that first movie for the first time. I just kind of was born quoting Luke and Han.
Love Star Wars.
They wouldn't be my friends if they did.
This legacy that's been going on for 30 years, that's inspiring, that generations have now passed it on down to their younger generations, their children, and I love that.
For some reason, Star Wars just keeps drawing me back. It's just something, I don't know, there's something natural about it.
Why does chocolate taste good? You can't explain that. It's just a sense. And this is something that people share worldwide.
I had cancer, bad cancer. 20 tumors in my lungs, big old tumor in my abdomen. I had one doctor come in and tell me a lot of our people use imagery. Imagine something battling the cancer. And so I sat there and thought, what can I imagine battling my cancer? And it was stormtroopers. And I had stormtroopers in my body shooting the cancer cells, and I think it changed my life. My oncologist actually told me, he says, I can't take credit for what cured you. I can take credit for about 30%. Here's a 6-pack of beer. You're cured. Go on your way. And here I am today, 18 years later.
May the Force be with you.
I didn't know he was a huge Star Wars fan until after we got married. On the day of the marriage, when I was putting on my makeup and we had to be at the church at 3, he was out at Burger King picking up some of the toys.
It's just a wholesome, good family genre of films that we can enjoy together.
So like whenever there's a new episode, we're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, we get to see it today.
That's something my kids are going to pass on to their kids, I'm hoping.
Star Wars is forever.
To take part in the Star Wars Stories Project. Now, venturing into a realm where we have never gone before, Celebration 5 boasts the first ever Star Wars fashion shows. They'll be hosted by someone who really wanted to cater to chic geek for women, a young lady that you know as Ahsoka Tano, Ashley Eckstein.
I have to tell you, it's geek chic, not chic geek. Geek chic. We're gonna get Steve caught up on all the female fashions, but I want to know how many women or girls out there are here because you want to be here, not because you're just carrying your husband or your boyfriend's or your dad's bag. Well, her universe was created for you because a little over 4 years ago when I was cast as the role of Ahsoka, I selfishly wanted more merchandise for me, and then I met all of the amazing female fans out there, and I wanted to know why there wasn't more merchandise for women. And because to me, Star Wars isn't just for men, and it isn't just for women. Star Wars is for everyone. So, and that's what we're going to do here at Celebration 5 with the first ever Star Wars fashion show. It's going to be for kids, men, and women. We have a kids show at 1 o'clock on Friday and Saturday, and also an adult show on Friday and Saturday at 4 o'clock. So come check us out. We're going to celebrate all of the current Star Wars fashions. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Jimmy Mack, I think you're out there. You promised me a really fun dance in the middle of the stage. So come check out his dance, see if it's 2 thumbs up. All right. See you guys later. May the Force be with you.
I knew the program would go downhill, but I didn't realize it would go downhill with the mention of Jimmy Mack's name. Jimmy, dance you may, sing you may not. Jimmy serenaded me on the Forcecast with a happy birthday song that so embarrassed his son that his son divorced him. Well, talk about pushing the envelope. How about the first ever Star Wars speed dating, followed by the first ever Star Wars Celebration Chapel? Let's celebrate the love, guys. Either with a light side or a dark side ceremony. Now, when I first heard about this, I thought, okay, that's sort of interesting. And then I got so into it, and then I got my new duds, that I'm going to be doing some light side ceremonies on Friday and Sunday. Now, you know the Celebration Chapel is right in the middle of the celebration experience, so you can come over and watch some real commitment ceremonies, except for the one where Bonnie Burton of Star Wars Online is going into a commitment ceremony with R2-D2. But that's another matter. So it will be fun. Almost from the start, celebrations have been known for their invitation-only Star Wars Artist Alley. And we have got another fantastic show for you this time. But I would also like to single out 2 of the best-known names in the world of Star Wars art. The first is master poster artist Drew Struzan. And I am pleased to present a short trailer and an exclusive excerpt of a new documentary still being made.
I think for my generation and the generation right before me, Drew Struzan was the movies.
He's an original, and he's one of the first artists who's become a pop star, a rock star.
Myself and my other artist friends, we would just drool over his stuff.
When you're talking about the best of the best, you've got Drew sitting right up there with those guys.
His posters are modern-day classics. That's not an opinion, it's a statement of fact.
There's images that Drew has drawn that are burned in my brain forever. They'll never go away.
He did the Back to the Future series. You know, Drew did Goonies for me. He did Hook. He did Batteries Not Included. You know, Drew really made a tremendous contribution.
Having Drew Struzan do your poster is almost worth making movies just for that.
There's a power and there's a direct contact between that character and the audience. It's beautiful work.
He's one person that can just take a portrait of a person and turn it into something really special.
You either love this stuff or you don't, but if you love it, you love Drew.
It's an iconic pose for Han Solo. We don't get a lot of these, actually. I think maybe because it's you that it has a little tinge of Indiana Jones in it, which is the pose where he's kind of this serious, tough guy look.
Yeah, well, he's the same guy in alternate universes. You know?
Yeah. But it's the holding the gun the way he's holding it and standing with his legs spread apart, sort of kind of ready to go. You know,
I use the word I really feature in a lot of my work is iconic.
Yeah.
I really like the simplified, iconic figures that emphasize their heroism or their beauty or whatever main characteristic they have.
Well, I like the Chewbacca in this one too. He's very...
Yeah, well, he's handsome.
Yeah. You can even make Wookiees look good.
Yeah, he's got a white nose, that's all you need.
Of course, there's another artist who will always be tied to Star Wars, Ralph McQuarrie. We are thrilled to have an amazing collection of more than 100 pieces on display from Ralph's personal collection for the first time anywhere in a gallery of imagination, the art of Ralph McQuarrie. You really need to check out this room. These pieces were hidden away for years in a box on a shelf in Ralph's home in Berkeley. And one day, a furnace repairman needed to get into a very tight furnace room. They had to move the shelf. Ralph looks at the box and says, what's that? And there was this treasure trove of early sketches, some color, some not, and some of them were the basis of the iconic paintings that Ralph did for Star Wars, Empire, and Return of the Jedi, and some Christmas cards and logos, and in fact, one of the belt buckles that we have here in the Celebration store came from a Ralph McQuarrie concept for a cast and crew belt buckle that was never produced. Let's listen to Ralph share some of his Star Wars memories.
There's some little shots of the blockade runner coming out from behind a planet, chased by some rebel fighters or something. I think I had it all wrong in terms of what actually was finally filmed, but that was the first scene that I read, that I started sketching right away. George said Darth ought to come in on the wind and fluttering with this big cape, this black silk thing around his face maybe, and a big helmet on like a Japanese warrior, medieval warrior, one of these sort of flaring helmets. And I thought, okay, that sounds good. The thing that bothered me about him, though, is he had to jump from one spacecraft to another. So I figured, well, he's got to have some kind of way to survive the vacuum. So George reluctantly said, well, go ahead and give him some kind of breathing apparatus. And there was an occasion in the script for R2 and 3PO to eject from a spacecraft and land in a pod on this desert planet, Tatooine. And I chose that as a moment in the film that would be an interesting way to show R2 and 3PO in a scene from the film. So I put those three things together, made a drawing, made the painting probably in about 2 days, all told. That was the first painting for Star Wars.